Human Rights Violation. He served as a Secretary, Vice President of Tiruchirappalli Bar Association and Vice President of Criminal Court Advocates Association, Trichy. He gave many guest lectures for judges in state as well as national levels. He worked as a member of Quality Assurance Cells, Kalai Kaveri College, Dowry Advisory Committee, and Electricity Consumer Dispute Redressal Forum. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Can I start, ma'am?
Yes, sir. We can start, sir. Your PPT is also shared.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So, first of all, I thank the organizers, Periyar EVR College, Trichy, Ministry of Consumer Affairs, Government of Tamil Nadu, Government of India, School of Commerce, Bharatiyar University, especially Dr. Sumati, ma'am, who was contacting me and who is well known to me for a long time. So thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much. So this is a very good occasion that we have organized a workshop on empowering rural consumers. So this is the need of the hour. Next PowerPoint. The next PowerPoint, please. Previous one, yeah. So the topic I'm going to handle is legal perspective of consumer protection rights. So you would have seen there is a law, specifically there is a law for consumer protection that Madam Dr. Vijayanti will be handling in the subsequent sessions. So now let us deal with the other laws and what is the legal perspective regarding consumer rights. First of all, we should understand who is a consumer. So everyone is a consumer, all citizens, irrespective of the place where they live, the language they speak, the state they live in, and wherever they live throughout the globe. The children are also consumers, the aged persons. Age is not a criteria. Every person is a consumer. Then whether it is an uneducated person or an uneducated person, both are consumers. The rich or poor, urban or rural, living in urban area or rural area. Whether he belongs to professes Hindu religion, Muslim or Christian, whether he is employed or unemployed. So everyone is a consumer. This is the only place where there is no difference. Everyone is a consumer. That we should understand. Nobody can say that I am not a consumer. I don't buy things. I don't hire services like that. So everyone is a consumer. It covers the entire globe, entire human beings. Then we have next slide. I want to put a question before I go into this session. What is the present status of consumers? Are they respected? What do you feel? Whether we as a consumers are respected? Or do you feel that we are being cheated as a consumer by the traders, the service providers, the sellers, the retailers, the manufacturer of various products? What do you feel? That whether we are respected as a consumer or we are being cheated as consumers? We should also, and when I put this question to the students, you may not be able to answer immediately, but many used to say that most of them used to say that they are being cheated. They are in some way, whether in the weight or price or the quality or the claim they make, they are being cheated. That is what many consumers feel. But we have laws. We have laws, legal protection for the consumers. We have sufficient legal protection. As you all know that the program is being conducted by the Ministry of Consumer Affairs. We have a separate ministry, both at the center and the state level. We have several laws which we are going to deal in the subsequent sessions. There are a lot of legal protection for the consumers. In spite of all this, the consumers are not being respected. That is why the ministry and the Bharatiyar University and the EVR College, they have come forward with this program to educate the consumers so that they can avail the legal protection they have. Next. Next PowerPoint. So we have as consumers, we have some rights. As consumers, we have some rights. We should know first, as consumer, what are the rights we have under various laws. The first and foremost right is right to safety. There cannot be any compromise in this. There cannot be any product or service which is against the right to safety. Safety of the human being, safety of persons, safety of the consumers is the first and foremost criteria. There cannot be any compromise in this regard. So safety, right to life is a very important right of a consumer. Then next is right to consumer education. This is also part of our right. That is why we have programs like this. And it must also, there is also efforts by various commerce departments and universities to have consumer education as part of the curriculum. We already have consumer clubs in various colleges and schools. So this is the motive behind this is to educate the consumer. So right to education as consumers, consumer education is one of the important rights. Then we have redressal. Whenever there is a right, we should have a redressal mechanism. We should have remedies. When we are violated by any of our rights as consumers, there must be a forum, there must be some institution or court, whatever it might be, a mechanism for redressal of our grievances, to seek remedy for our grievances. So that is also part of the right to consumers, right to redressal, right to get remedy, to find a solution for that whenever our rights are being violated. Then the next right is right to choose. We cannot be compelled to choose any product. It is our right, it's our prerogative right to choose any products. We can choose, we can buy, we can decide what to buy and what not to buy. So that is right to choose. Then right to information. Right to information about the product or services. So whenever there is a product, everything about the product must be disclosed. All about the product. What is the nature of product? What the value of the product? In what way it suits our demand? What is the price of the product? What is the net weight or quantity of the product? What is the price of the product? Every information about the product and services must be shared. That is right to be informed. We have a right to be informed of everything about the product. Then right to be heard. Whenever we have a grievance, I already told you about the redressal to get remedy. We also have a right to be heard. The company nowadays, you would have seen, they have a toll-free number where you can ask them any queries about the product and services. Ma'am, I'll come in my mobile, just a minute. I'll leave in this and
Dear participant, there is a technical issue. The resource person Martin sir will join immediately. Kindly stay here. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Is it audible, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Very good, sir.
Yeah,
Sir,
sorry.
is it audible, sir?
Total power cut today in our area. That is why I'm shifting to the mobile. So now there won't be
Okay,
any.
sir. Yeah, morning you told, sir.
Yeah, I
And
told you.
we have identified your ID and then we have unmuted, sir.
Yeah, now you can hear me, no, ma'am?
It's audible, sir. Audible, sir.
Yes, ma'am. We'll go ahead.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Sorry. So, as I have already told you, we have a right to be informed of everything about the product. And the next right is right to be heard. And these are the important rights of a consumer: right to safety, right to consumer education, right to redressal, and right to choose, right to be informed, and right to be heard. So these are important rights. Next PowerPoint. Now let us see about the food that we eat nowadays. There is a lot of change you would have seen during our childhood. We were eating something else. Nowadays, there are a lot of new things have come out. Everywhere there are fast food and other things. First of all, we should understand about the product. As a consumer, we should know all these things. We cannot simply eat anything that is available in the market. We should know what is the product is about, particularly the food products. First of all, we should know that the products are contaminated with chemical pesticides and fertilizers. This is the recent threat to our food. The lot inextensive use of chemical pesticides and fertilizers in the farms. This leads to contamination of food products. For example, there is a study at Hyderabad which shows there is the rice contains DDT powder. Even the mother who eat such rice, they feed their children with DDT powder. That is the survey conducted in Hyderabad shows. So this is such a that the residues will remain in the food. So every food has chemicals and fertilizers. This is one of the things we should know. The next one is adulterated food. So this is not natural. This is adulteration is being done at the cost of our life. Just for profit, they adulterate substances. For every product, they have some adulterants. For example, for coffee powder, they mix tamarind powder. For chili powder, they mix brick powders. And for pepper, they have some seeds in the country. seeds. So like that, for every product, for rice, they manufacture small stones and mix it with the rice. So like this, adulterants are there everywhere. For in ghee, they mix dalda. And there is even animal fat are being used in some ghee and dalda products. And these are something harmful to the health. So there are foods that are being adulterated. Then comes junk food. Junk food is nothing but food that has to be thrown in the dustbin. Junk means a thing that has to be thrown in the dustbin. So such type of food is available in the market. You'll be shocked to know what are the junk foods. Noodles, pizza, burger, all the steak, and everything that is available in the market in the name of stalls, quick food, fast foods. So these foods, nowadays, it has become a fashion to eat such foods. So this is nothing but junk food, because there many chemicals are being used, coloring agents are being used, and many frozen things are being used, preservatives are used. So this is junk food. Occasionally we can have. I'm not telling you all this to threaten you, because these are not good. It has no nutritional value. It harms our body. That's why we should avoid eating all these products. The chips, lay chips, whatever it might be, those chips, deep oil fried products. These are very harmful. These are junk foods. So that must be avoided. Occasionally you can have it, that is different. But regularly, if you take morning, you have some cornflakes, all those preserved food, that is not good. And we have coloring agents. Now it has become a fashion. We don't eat seeds or any other products without colors. Even chili chicken, we take it only in red color. So these coloring agents are highly harmful chemicals. They are extensively used, and the law prescribes some of the permitted coloring agents. In Western and European countries, they have gone in for this natural coloring through plants and vegetables. And now, but here we don't have even colors that are being used for clothes or being used sometimes. If we take chili chicken and all for a one full day, our hand will be there will be red shade in the hands. So like that, the coloring agents normally we can avoid. Suppose we go to a hotel, if we tell them not to use any coloring agent, they won't use it. We can avoid that. That's not good for health. Then genetically modified food also. That is, government has permitted only trials, but there are reports that some of the genetically modified foods, chips and other things, or potato, are being marketed. It's also not scientifically proved whether this is harmful to health or not. You know why I am telling you this? These are some of the areas, even though food laws are there, they are being adulterated with chemicals, fertilizers, and adulterants, and junk food are being marketed, and coloring agents are extensively used, and genetically modified food is also, which is not scientifically proved so far, is being marketed. Next slide. So what we should understand is that there are laws, food laws. Previously, there was an act called Prevention of Food Adulteration Act. An act of 1954. So this Prevention of Food Adulteration Act is now repealed in 2006, and a new law, Food Safety and Standards Act 2000, is introduced. This is a very stringent law which prevents any adulteration in the food. There are mechanisms. Food safety inspectors are there, food safety commissioners are there, and there are a wide range of government officials to enforce this law. And every themselves registered. And without registration, they cannot, no hotel can function. Even a small petty restaurant, they should get themselves registered. A petty shop who sells food product, they should get themselves registered. There are misbranded, adulterated products. There are even death penalty given under this law because it is directly against the safety of a person. So safety, I have already told you, there cannot be any compromise. So in spite of this Food Safety and Standards Act, a stringent law to regulate the sale of food, to identify the adulterated food, and to punish the persons who are selling such products. And a mechanism is also evolved both at the state level, at the district level. At every place, we have food safety inspectors and enforcement agencies are there. In spite of all this, as I have told you earlier, there are adulteration and use of colors which are not permitted under this Food Safety and Standards Act are being used like that. It's going on. Next. Then we have the next area, an important area is medicine. No, medicine is important. Everybody takes medicine. And there is also a report that 45% of the people go for self-medication. They don't go to a doctor. They don't seek any medical advice from anyone. They simply go to a petty shop and buy tablets. Only in our country, the tablets are being sold in the petty shop. In no country we can get medicine from a petty shop. We can only get it from a medical shop, medical store, and that too only under the prescription of a doctor. But here, even in a small village, a remote rural area, in the petty shop, many drugs will be available. For fever, you go and tell that petty shop fellow who is illiterate and who has no knowledge of medicine, he will prescribe you, he will give you medicines. And self-medication is highly harmful. Now, why I am telling you this, we should avoid taking medicine without a doctor's prescription, because medicines are also harmful. It can cause harm to our body. We cannot take it just like that. We should take it only when there is a need, and that need must be decided by a doctor or a medical practitioner. Nowadays, we have government hospitals, we have primary health centers in rural areas, and those drugs sold, given in this primary health center and government hospitals are very good. You won't believe that the medicines given in government hospitals and primary health centers are best medicines. And Tamil Nadu is the best model. We have drug purchase corporation. Monitor. So this self-medication is highly harmful, and we should never go for self-medication. Then we have combination drugs. This also is very important because the medical science doesn't allow combination of various components, various chemicals together and put it in one drug. For example, Bicosuls. Bicosuls contains vitamin B, C, A, many folic acid, like that, many things. They put together and put combine many chemicals and put as a one drug. This we call it fixed dose combination. This is not recognized by the medical science except in few occasions, only very few handful of occasions it is permitted. In all other occasions, it must be a single ingredient drug. The World Health Organization has given a list of essential drugs. This essential drugs contains only few combination drugs where there is no other alternative they have given. Otherwise, it must be single dose combination. So you can very well ask your doctor to prescribe a single dose, not a combination drug or fixed dose combination. Then there are also unethical marketing practices. Medicines, as you all know, it is a necessity. Whenever there is need, there are advertisements. They simply, I told you that self-medication is not permitted, but they advertise. For any type of pain, they prescribe a drug. They put it in advertisement. There are even medicines which offers, if you buy one tablet, another tablet is free. That also one headache, again you get a headache. So like that, these are called unethical marketing practices. There is also a reported case where Telka, a medicine, a sleep compose, is marketed for children in Japan. And here also cough syrup and many drugs are being marketed, advertisements are made. This is unethical because only when there is a need, they go to a doctor and get medicine. You cannot advertise and make people to go for self-medication. Then drug trials. It is also reported that some drug trials without the consent of the patients are being given. Now we know COVID-19, there are a lot of research going on, and people, government get volunteers. They get their consent and conduct trials. But there are occasions where they do drug trials on human beings. Normally, drug trials are being conducted on guinea pigs and monkeys. But in some places, they even do it on human beings without their consent. So drug trial, we have to be very careful. We should not, suppose you're going for a treatment, we should see that whether that's a recognized drug, whether the drug is being approved by our drug controller, like that we have to check. And then tonics and cough syrups. This is an important trait. Tonics are irrational. It doesn't give you strength. Tonics are unnecessary. You won't believe Dr. Prafula Chaudhary, when he was the Prime Minister of Bangladesh, who is a doctor, he banned all tonics because people only take good food, vegetables, fruits, and other things for getting nutritional value. These tonics are only myths. They don't serve the purpose for which we are buying it. But now it has become a fashion. Even our mother, when they take their children, they won't come out of the doctor without a prescription for a tonic. They'll say something and get the doctor prescribe a tonic. And the tonics, they contain in a very colorful bottle and with a lot of tags, golden star, all those things will be there. And the color also, if you buy an iron tonic, it will look like iron, black color. And if you buy any other tonic for raise of hemoglobin, other thing, it will be red like a blood. Well, so we think it is highly good for our health, but it is not so. So tonics are irrelevant. Whenever somebody is suffering from anemia, somebody is suffering from malnutrition, then when there is any deficiency, we should only go for vegetables, fruits, and other nutrition things, but not tonics. Tonics must be avoided unless there is acute necessity and the medical practitioner prescribes. Similarly, cough syrup. Cough syrups are now available in petty shops like in shampoo packets. Cough is not a disease as it is unless it is recurrent and continuous. It is a natural way of ejecting unwanted things from the body, unless the cough is continuous and there is a lot of pain and other things. So these cough syrups also is not good. So in some of the tonics, the content includes Alcohol. There is a tonic that prescribed for children. In the advertisement, they say if the child takes this cough syrup, she sleeps nicely because it contains alcohol. Now itself, we train them to take alcohol. So that is cough syrups and tonics are unnecessary, and it must be taken only in extraordinary situation where the medical practitioner prescribes and it is a necessity. Otherwise, it must be avoided. Then there is irrational drugs. Drugs which are not necessary are being prescribed. We have conducted, our consumer organization, we have conducted a prescription audit. We have gathered many prescriptions, gave it to a pharmacologist in Calcutta, and he analyzed the drugs that is being prescribed for a particular patient. And the report says 65% of the drugs prescribed are irrational, which are not necessary, unnecessary. Then we have essential drugs. Essential drugs and single ingredients are very good for our health. And the WHO has published a list of essential drugs. And this is there are only 230 essential drugs in the WHO list. And our government of India has also appointed a committee called Hathi Committee. The Hathi Committee studied the drug situation in our country, and the Dr. Hathi came out with a report saying that 116 drugs, 116, is enough to cure almost all the diseases in India. But here, hold your breath, more than 1 lakh drugs are being marketed. Licensed drugs alone accounts for nearly 1 lakh. But these are unnecessary, irrational, and the drugs are being sold. So we should, I appeal to you all, we should never go for self-medication. We should never buy tonic on our own and do it. Next. So these medicines, the medicines and cosmetics are under one law. That is why I clubbed medicines with cosmetics also. Cosmetics is another area. It is the worst enemy of our skin. In ancient days, we never had any cosmetics. We use natural products, natural things, things from our garden for cosmetic purposes. But now, all chemicals, we don't even know what chemical is being used in a particular cosmetic. What exactly is the chemical that is being used? Is there any side effects? Is there anything that harms our body? We have no information. Simply color and other things. They display a good women or men, beautifying them with lipsticks, eyebrows, and skin colors. And they make advertisement. Believing the advertisement, we buy such products. We don't know what it contains, in what way it will harm our skin. Normally, we do bleaching of clothes. We do bleaching of bathroom. But now we do bleaching of our faces. The bleaching is now used only for bathroom and for cleaning purpose. That bleaching now, it is being done on our face. Similarly, colors. They create an artificial demand for changing our color. Is it possible? You all know, many of you are science students. It is nothing but a genes. It is genetics. Can we change our skin? It can be changed only by peeling off the skin or making a paint of it. So there are products, there are unethical marketing of products. Change your color in 6 weeks. And there are advertisements. Now they have withdrawn that advertisement. The Fair and Lovely, they have changed their name now. They were forced to change the name. Because none of these products, skin coloring products, They will change the color, but they market it. People buy it, and they try to apply every day. Why should we change our color? Normally, Americans, people from Western and European countries, they'll be white in color. And the people in South Africa and other countries, they'll be black in color. But in India, we have shades. Now, participants, you could see your own color. Everyone is a unique color that is possible, and that is only in India we have such shades. Why should we change our color into a color of an European and harm our body? These are unethical marketing. So nowadays, if there is a college, there will be a beauty parlor, and people go for beauty parlor and they take a lot of time in the morning to use these chemicals, harm themselves. They themselves harm their body by using these cosmetics. Next PowerPoint. So I don't say we should not use these cosmetics, but it can be used only in occasions like we have a college function, drama, and we have marriage and other functions. We can have it. But if you make it a way of life, and there are a lot of products which has no authentic information about the product. So such products must be avoided. So the Drugs and Cosmetics Act 1940 is the law that regulates both drugs and cosmetics. We have a drug controller of India. We have drug controller at the state level. We have drug controller at the drug inspectors at the district level. And this drug controller of India has an advisory committee with the experts on the panel. Periodically, they ban drugs which are not necessary. Drugs that are banned in other countries, they ban in India, but after a long time. So these lists are available in the drug controller's website. And not only that, if you find any hazardous drug is being marketed or adulterated drug is being marketed, you can lodge a complaint, and they will give a gift according to the value of the drugs seized, adulterated drugs seized. So the prices are being offered for this. These Drugs and Cosmetics Act also, like food products, it carries life sentence and fine of several lakhs of rupees in case of adulterated and misbranded drugs and cosmetics. So there is effective law, Drugs and Cosmetics Act, to deal with the drugs and cosmetics that is being marketed. But what we should understand is, in spite of these laws, there are advertisements and unethical marketing practices to woo the consumers to go for self-medication, to induce the consumers to use cosmetics frequently. So the consumers must be aware of the effects of self-medication, aware of the use of cosmetics. So then only things will change. Not just law and enforcement agencies can change this situation. Consumer must be aware of this. Next. Then we have children as consumers. Normally women and children are main consumer targets for consumer products. So children as consumers, they start with baby food. Baby food is considered a baby killer in Western and European countries. No medical shop will give a baby food without a doctor's prescription. But here, whether it is a grocery shop, whether it is a petty shop, whether it is a medical shop, the prominent display will be baby food. We have Farex, Nestamol, Nestle, everything we have. So you can walk in and buy any baby food without any prescription. And nowadays it has become a fashion that only people who give baby food are carrying their child best. But this is not so. Baby food is a baby killer. There are scientific data to show that 45% of the children are being affected by this, by the use of this substitute baby food. Instead of going for mother's milk, they take alternative baby food, and that there is stunt of child and malnutrition. It leads to malnutrition, and so boycott all baby food. That is the slogan raised by the consumers. Baby food being marketed. Tonics, I have already told you. Then there's similarly health things. An increment tonic, you can grow like a zebra. Then Bharatiyar University has to change all the dose because all the students will grow like a zebra and they cannot enter the dose. It is not possible. The increment tonic contains salicylic acid. Salicylic acid is largely available in peas, pacha patani. If 1 spoon of green peas is equal to 1 bottle of increment tonic, which costs 100 rupees or more. There are alternative health drinks. So there is even drinks for memories to increase your memory. You need not study in commerce department of our college. You can take a drug for commerce, 1 drug, and do it. Memory plus. You know what they advertise? Mathematics, 100. That is what they put. Another drug, memory plus. They show the photo of Vishwanath Anand. So if Vishwanath Anand, as if he has won chess because he took these drugs. That's a false impression they create. So the health drinks, 1-inch growth and fast moving, and all cricketers, as if they take health drinks, is being shown in the advertisement. It's not false. It's all false claim. It has no, they cannot substantiate their claim. And we as consumers, without their knowledge, we believe it and we follow these advertisements and take drinks. We give our children all unnecessary health drinks. Then we have toys that I will let you know later. So this is, children, we have to be very careful. Baby food, we should avoid, boycott baby food. And tonics, unless there is a necessity, there's a necessity as decided by a health medical practitioner, it must be. Health drinks must be avoided. It's not necessary. Give them good fruits. Give them nutritious food. That is the need. Toys, I will let you know in the subsequent slides. Next. So here we have a law for children. Infant milk substitutes, feeding bottles, and infant foods Regulation of Production, Supply and Distribution Act 1992. This is a law to regulate infant milk substitutes, feeding bottles, infant foods. So there is a regulation, but it doesn't ban all this, but it only regulates the production, supply and distribution. Particularly this act prohibits advertisements of baby foods. Previously, we used to have a lot of advertisements with mother's photo and baby's photo. Now it is prohibited. No milk product, no milk substitute, infant milk substitute container can have a photo of a mother. They cannot display a photo of a child. That is why now they put apple, rice, wheat, and other photos they'll put. They cannot display a photo of a mother or a child. Not only that, this act prescribes a statutory warning. Every infant food container must have a statutory warning. This is not a substitute for mother's milk. Like we have liquors cause harm to our health. Smoking is injurious to health. Like that, every container box containing infant milk substitute must have a warning, a statutory warning. You won't believe, immediately after enactment of this act, some of the companies have filed a case saying that it cannot be displayed because the law says it must be prominently displayed in the container. They say they have filed a case saying that it is in a cylindrical form, so there cannot be a prominent place in it. Like that, they want to avoid putting this warning. But now you could see every infant food contains this statutory warning, and no advertisement can be made, and no gift can be given. And the doctors, particularly the pediatricians, they should not have any advertisements on the table or there, but everywhere you could see the weighing machine will be given by one infant food company, and the scale to measure will be given by some tonic company. Like that, it is there on the table. Also, doctor will have many table store weights and other things with the logo of infant food. But there is law, even though it is not totally banned, the advertisement is prohibited, and there are certain norms for infant substitutes, feeding bottles, and infant food is being prescribed, and the statutory warning is also made in the container. Next. The next one is about toys. This is, as you all know, toys are being used by children. It can contain toxic chemicals. It can have a sharp edge. It can cause injury. It can have cord and string, strangulation hazards, choking hazard. There may be small parts which the children can swallow. There may be loud noise which can affect their hearing thing. And there are toys with the lead and cadmium based paints. Lead and cadmium are dangerous chemicals. Students who are studying in science, they know better. Lead and cadmium are very highly harmful chemicals. This can cause cancer. And many toys, colorful toys, which shines. You would have seen many toys nowadays or with their shining colors. These toys, the paints are made with lead and cadmium. Even a child put it on the mouth only once, it can get serious ailments like cancer. So that is the dangerous status of affair. But we have our ancient tradition, Marapachi Bommai. The toys are made by some wood, which has medicinal value. So even if the child puts a toy in the mouth, it will serve as an antigen. It will be a antibacterial. It is made. The toys are made Marapachi Bommai. The toys are made by wood that is good for the health of the children, and no paints will be used. The child will always have it in her mouth. There's nothing harmful. It in fact cures many of our ailment. Such a tradition we have, but all those tradition has gone. Now we don't have such toys. It's not available in the market. Some companies, they make wooden toys, but even if they make wooden toys, they color it with the chemical colors. So the toy, what I want to tell you is, every one of us like toys. Children like the toys most. But we have to be very careful in choosing these toys. If there is any of these dangers, we should avoid such toys. Next. Toy trade is not a small industry with a few lakhs. Our commerce madam and other students, commerce students, know better about the toy trade. What is meant by $1 billion? And the organized sector is more than $1 billion. Unorganized sector toy industry is $1.5 billion. Chinese toy alone account for 240 crores. It's not a small market. That means if it involves $1 billion, $2 billion, then naturally there will be lakhs and lakhs of children will get into contact with these toys. This is something serious. It has to be regulated. There is an immediate need for intervention. I have mentioned about Chinese toys. Not Chinese toys alone are harmful. There are also American toys, Mattel, a company with chemicals. The cars and other things, very big companies. Mattel is a very leading toy manufacturing company. They also have toys which are harmful to health of the children. So not just China. Next. Yeah, almost all the countries have some form of regulation to prohibit unsafe toy entering into the market. There is also an international code, ISO. Even South Africa and Thailand has mandatory toy safety standards, but we have no law. It's a very sad part of it. We have to, our ministry has to evolve a law. Nowadays, only the customs officers, they check, but they don't see there is no law to regulate and create standard for toys. Anything can be, you would have seen a lot of toys are being marketed, sharp edge toys are there with tin, made of tin sheet. Colorful colors made with chemicals. As I told you, lead and cadmium paints are being used in the toys. So there is an urgent need for a comprehensive legislation to regulate the manufacture and marketing of toys. But till such time, we have to be very careful because children are our assets. We cannot give our children lead and cadmium. Shall we give? We cannot give. So we have to be very careful in choosing toys for our children. Next. Then we have our Constitution of India. It's a very important law, you all know. The Constitution is the supreme law of our land. Under Article 21, right to life includes right to health and protection against any harm. As I have told you in the beginning, right to safety comes from this right to a life. So no one can harm our body. It's a constitutional right. It's a fundamental right. It's a human right. Can cause any injury to our health by selling adulterated and other products. So this is a constitutional right. Only from this constitutional right, our consumers are being protected. So right to life is a very important right of a consumer. Then we have Article 39, which says the health and strength of the tender age of children are not abused. The childhood and youth are protected against exploitation. So that is why I made a demand for a law for toys. Health and strength of tender age. It is the obligation of the state. It is the obligation of every citizen of this country to protect the children. Their childhood and the youth should not be exploited. Because their youth or child, they may not know the nature of the products and services. We should not exploit and compel them to use such products. Then we have Article 47, duty of the state to raise the standard of living and improve public health. So public health, to improve the health of the people, is a duty of the state. And we also have a duty to protect consumers. I suppose sometimes we may be a person, a service provider. We may be a person, people who are studying now may become an MD of a company, food product company. We have a corporate social responsibility. We are not supposed to market a product that harms the body of a person, a product that is harmful to the consumers. So the constitutional rights, the Constitution of India guarantees the right to life, which is an important consumer right. Next. The Consumer Protection Act, uh, 2019 is a new law. Normally, consumer rights, we divide into two parts, before 1986, after 1986, because Consumer Protection Act was first enacted in 1986. Now it has been repealed and a new law is being enacted in 2019. I'm not going to talk about this because Dr. Vijay Tilakam, ma'am, who is an expert in this, who is a very good, honest officer in Civil Supplies Department, will be briefing you on the salient features of this Consumer Protection Act in the next session. So next. So these things, always check the packaged food labels before buying. So there is a rule called packaged commodity rules. So the packaged commodity, any packaged commodity must have a label. If it is a food product, it should have the content of the food product, content, what it contains, and its calorical value, and the chemical used. If any chemical is used, what are the chemical used? What is the coloring agent used? What is the preservative used? Whether that preservative and the coloring agents are properly licensed with the license number, the price of the product, the maximum retail price, the name and address of the manufacturer, the name and address of the distributor, the toll-free number to hear about the grievance. Everything must be in the label. So by seeing the label, we should be in a position to understand about the product, its price, its quantity, quality, everything. The name of the manufacturer, the content, the calorical value, the coloring agent used, the preservative used, everything must be there. We should understand some of the multinational companies, they use double standards. In Europe, they put a different label. In Asian countries, they put a different label. They will have only lesser information. They will hide some information. So what you should understand is, at least whenever we buy a product, we should not simply consume that product. We should see the content. We should see the label. It may take 2 to 3 minutes. Find time to read the entire label. You will know many new things. There may be a warning, statutory warning. There may be a prohibition. The child should be below the age of 9 years, should not take like that. There may be warnings, side effects, everything will be there. Whatever product it is, packaged commodity rules. Whatever product, whether it's a food product, whether it's a medicine, whatever it might be, there must be labeling. And the labeling must contain every information, because we have already seen the right to information is a consumer right. And the company must provide all these information. Next. Then about MRP. This is very important. Never pay more than the MRP price. Maximum retail price, inclusive of all taxes. Some people, some shops may say, this MRP is only the product price and we have to add tax to that. No, gone are the days. Previously, it was like that, excluding taxes. But now, the maximum retail price, inclusive of all taxes. That even a single pie cannot be added above the MRP price. Only few exceptions are there, that's only trucks and other things. But always, maximum retail price includes everything about the profit of the manufacturer, profit of the seller, distributor, transportation charges, taxes, everything. It includes everything. That's why it is a price available for the consumers. They cannot, the traders, even if the retailer, they cannot add even a single pie with this MRP. Next. Then we have a department called the Legal Metrology. We have an act called Weights and Measures Act. This is attached to the Labor Ministry, Labor Department. The weights and measures, every weight and measure must be certified by the competent authority. Sometimes people may sell it for a lesser price, but if we check the weight, there will be some manipulation in the weights and measures, weighing machine. They will manipulate and put it for a lesser price. I have seen there is a place near Namakkal, in Koli Hills. They sell a lot of grocery items. The price will be lesser than what we buy here. But if we check the measure or weighing machine, there will be a lesser quantity. So we have to be very careful, confirm. If you have a weighing machine in your home, go and check at least, not always, at least once in a while. Check whether it is a proper weight, whether it is a proper quantity. You have seen petrol bunk. Lot of people talk about some fraud in the petrol bunks. In every petrol bunk must have a measure. They should display it. Any customer can go and check whether it is 1 liter, whether it is really 1 liter. And they will also have some litmus paper and other papers for testing of the quality of the petrol. So every petrol bunk will have this measure as well as for some kit for checking the quality of the petrol. And we should see, if not always, occasionally, check whether it is of proper weight and measure as displayed in the container. Next. This is Weights and Measures Act is another important law. Then we have Be Smart and Eat Smart. There are many small kits available. An organization called Catalyst Trust at Chennai, they have evolved a kit called Annam Kit. We could check hundreds of products, test at our own home about and see for adulterants. And the department also, they have given lot of tips for testing. Suppose for tea, suppose tea powder. If you want to check whether there is any adulterant, put it in a white paper, put some tea powder, drop a few drops of water on it, and you'll see if the paper contains any color, then it is adulterated. If there is no color, in the paper, then it contains no adulterant. So here the Department of Consumer Affairs, they have given a test for testing whether the ghee contains anything. 1 spoon of butter or ghee and hydrochloric acid, and put some sugar and color it. If there is any color changes, then it contains adulterant. So like that, there are easy ways of testing for adulterants. That also we should also educate ourselves on this, and occasionally we can go for checking. Next. So we have some fundamental duties. So we cannot always blame traders and sellers. The consumers also have some duties. Duty as a consumer. This is a slide where you can register our duties, our responsibilities. Some if you come across any stories, you can register it. But normally, consumers have a duty. Many, they don't get bill. Suppose the trader says, if I put a bill, I will add tax, then they will say, no need for a bill. And they never read the label on the product. They never see whether it is expired or not. They never, so even if they are aggrieved, they never lodge a complaint. They simply go as a fate, they leave it. So these are some of the duties. Whenever we educate ourselves, educating on consumer affairs, consumer issues is one of our duty. And whenever we buy products which are necessary. Don't simply take a bag or trolley, go inside a shopping mall and see, put in the bag whatever is available in the rack after seeing the display and advertisements. Buy products that are necessary. Previously, we used to go with a list of products that we want to buy, go to a shop with a list. Nowadays, such a tradition has gone. Nowadays, we simply go to a mall, take a bag, available. So that must be avoided. And it is a duty of the consumer, and it is our responsibility to be an aware consumer. And we should not fall prey to this cheating. Next. Next slide. Then we have certain standard marks. Previous one. Yeah. We have for certain products, we have some standard marks. This is for us to, it is a certificate of guarantee. For example, if it is a gold product, if it has a hallmark seal, then we can believe, we can trust that the product is a guaranteed one. It is a pure quality. So, but we should see that hallmark. So like that for gold articles, we have hallmark. So don't buy any gold without a hallmark. Now it is made a mandatory. So every shop must have a hallmark product, because standards are not compulsory. But now this hallmark is made a compulsory. Next. So like hallmark, we have other standards. Bureau of Indian Standards, ISI. Hallmark, which I already told you. Then we have silk mark for silk products. Then we have AGMark for agricultural products like vegetable oil and other things. So like that, for certain products, we have this ISI. But ISI, that Bureau of Indian Standards, ISI mark, is compulsory for certain products. It is not compulsory for certain products. It is optional. For example, electric products, ISI is compulsory. Without an ISI mark, no trader can sell an electrical product. No consumer can buy a product without an ISI mark. But in the market, thousands of electrical products without ISI mark are available. They'll even put like ISI, in par with the ISI. Like that, they'll put and cheat the consumers. But ISI means they will have a name, they will have a number. You can go to the website of ISI standards, Bureau of Indian Standards website, and see for ourselves what is the product, whether the product is registered, what is the nature of the product, every detail we can get. So this is one way of choosing a product, buying a product. Always buy products with standard marks like ISI, Hallmark, Silk Mark, and AG Mark. So this is one way of getting not cheated. We can guarantee certain amount of quality. But here also we have to be very careful. There are fake ISI mark also. If you have any doubt, have it checked with the Bureau of Indian Standards website. Next. So this is, then we have our Ministry of Consumer Affairs has set up a National Consumer Helpline, 1800114000 or 14404. So this is a helpline number given by Ministry of Consumer Affairs. They also have a website, given that website address, and we can go to that, lodge a complaint, and if you have queries, they can ask for any details about consumer affairs from this ministry. Our Tamil Nadu government Consumer Affairs Ministry also has such a helpline, and you can utilize this service. Next. There are remedies. What we should do being a good consumer? Educate ourselves, which I have already told you, educate ourselves on products and services and the laws available. We should be an aware consumer. We should know about the product that we use. We should know about the service we have availed. We should know about the law that is prevailing in our country in this regard about the particular service or product. So educate ourselves. This is because it's life for us. It's not just to get past in a course. It is going to be helpful for you lifelong. Not only for you, but also for your family. Because you are going to be for your father and care a child. And it will benefit the whole family by this. Educate ourselves about the product, services, and the laws available in our country on consumer protection. Then, whenever you are aggrieved, whenever you are being cheated, whenever substandard products are being sold, whenever a product with a manufacturing defect is being sold, whenever there is deficiency in service, whenever you were forced to buy for a higher price, so any grievance, don't simply go. Even it is a small amount of damages, lodge a complaint, because it is not only redressal for you, but in future, the trader will not continue such work, such practice, which is against the interest of the consumers. Then buy products that are necessary, which I have already told you. Don't buy products on seeing the advertisement. Don't buy products that are displayed colorfully in a supermarket. Buy only products that are necessary. So these are some of the remedies. These are important duty of consumers. There is also an act called Magic Remedies and Objectionable Advertisements Act. There is an act, this law, Magic Remedies and Objectionable Advertisements Act, which prohibits any cure by magic. If you wear a particular ring, you will get a lot of money. I have seen an advertisement which says, if you have any incurable disease, a lady will teach them how to talk with a dead person and cure your illness. The course fees is 2,500 rupees. Our course, consumer course workshop is free. I have seen in the brochure. But a course, a training to talk to a dead person and cure your illness is cost 2,500 rupees. And such advertisements are being made, which is prohibited under law. Magic Remedies and Objectionable Advertisements Act prohibits 54 cure for 54 diseases is prohibited under this act. But in spite of it, you know why I'm telling you this? Don't buy products which are being just by seeing the advertisements. Buy products which are necessary. That alone will help. Next. I have already told you there are a lot of laws. Whether it is food, we have Food Safety and Standards Act. If it is drugs, we have Drugs and Cosmetics Act. We have prohibiting advertisements. We have Magic Remedies and Objectionable Advertisements Act. We have Consumer Protection Act to empower the consumers. And we have seen law prohibiting advertisements of bottled food or infant food. Like that, there are several laws that is prevailing in our country. But in spite of all this, because the consumers are not educated, I don't mean the regular curriculum education, consumer education. Because using their ignorance, bad products are being marketed, whether it is drugs, whether it is food, it is being marketed. There are a lot of deficiency in service. The insurance companies, they make high claims and make you enroll in a health policy. Once you become sick, they will repudiate the claim. And they'll have small prints with a lot of conditions. And unless you are educated, unless you are aware of the products and services that you are availing, you should never go for that. So because the consumers are ignorant about their rights, about the products they buy, about the services they avail, about the laws that are prevailing in our country, the traders, they use this situation and exploit the consumers. So, and even though there are laws, such products and services are available in the market. So the best way is to avoid a bad product. Boycott the product. If you feel a product is not good for your health, never buy that product. Boycott it. If you feel a particular trader is using unfair trade practices, never go to him. Boycott him. If you feel a trader is always selling with underweight, don't go. Boycott him. So this boycott is a Gandhian way of doing it. Boycott salt. Uppu Satyagraham, you know. Boycott foreign products. Like that. So boycott of products which is not good for our health is the best way to avoid the consumers. So I'll stop here. So these are some of the laws that are prevailing in our country for the protection of consumers, other than the Consumer Protection Act. Consumer Protection Act you will be seeing in the next session. So there are other laws available. There are also insurance law. There are many more laws are also available. We have only seen few laws relating to consumers. So this So through this seminar, you should go and read for yourself. There is an international consumer organization or called Consumer International. They are pioneers in the field of consumers. Our own Department of Consumer Affairs, both at the center and the state level, we have several websites, and also several training programs are being conducted. And we should always in touch and update ourselves on the knowledge of consumer laws and the consumer rights. So if that happens, then certainly we can get remedy. So thank you very much. And I leave 10 minutes for questions. Maybe you can raise your hand and ask question. Next PowerPoint, ma'am. Ma'am, is it possible that they can ask questions?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dear
Yes,
participant, if you have any queries regarding today's technical session, you may ask through the chat box. The chat box is enabled. You may ask.
No one has asked any question. Sir, any questions, sir?
Dear participant, once again, if you have any queries, you may ask through the chat box. Thank you. Okay, there is a question by Yedankudi Himalata. What kind of step is government taking to avoid such fraudulent goods?
Please repeat, sir.
What kind of steps is government taking to avoid such kind of fraudulent goods?
Yeah, that is government. We have a separate ministry. We have machineries. I told you, if it is a food product, we have food safety officers everywhere. And we have for drugs also, drug inspectors are there, the enforcement agency is there, and they are creating awareness. And you can lodge a complaint. The district collector is empowered to receive a complaint and deal with that. So like that, the ministry is also doing a lot of work. They take samples and test it for adulterants. They are doing it. But unless consumers, many consumer complaints are given, this will not come to an end. So they are taking efforts, but that itself is not enough. We cannot leave the entire responsibility to the department alone. The government has a role to play, and naturally, the people also, consumers also have a role to play.
So there is another question by the Yedankudi Himalata. In TV, they show you can get long hair, but does not work. Can we sue in consumer court, sir?
Pardon? Please repeat, sir.
In TV, they show you can get long hair, but it does not work. Can we sue in consumer court?
Yeah, certainly we can sue. Recently, one model, she went for make a makeup, and she had a mark and other things. She went to consumer court and got an award. Similarly, in case they advertise a long hair and advertise about color, certainly it is a clear case of consumer case. We can file a consumer complaint.
By Anandan Palanivel. How farmers can get benefit by selling their products locally, such as the way to better income to farmers?
This is a hot topic now. You would have seen the government of India has come out with 3 laws for farmers, and recently, yesterday, Prime Minister has withdrawn the law because farmers didn't accept it. So this is a very important issue because the farmers, they don't get a fair price for the product they manufacture. For all other products, the price have gone up. But the farm products, the price is like that. Because of that, the direct persons affected are farmers. So where the state government must ensure, the state and the central government must ensure that the farmers are assured of a fair price. That is why the direct purchase system is being enforced now. The Tamil Nadu government, they are buying paddy from the farmers directly, and they sell it, and by giving farmers a fair price. So, but there needs a lot of work to be done in this regard to ensure that a fair price is given to the farmers. So, a lot of things has to be done. Only few things are being done. Only paddy is being purchased, but for other products also, whatever it might be, all farm products, the farmers must be ensured of a fair price. Next.
There is a question by Amit Mukherjee. Fake brands in the rural market are increasing. Your comments on the same.
So please repeat, sir.
The fake brands in rural markets are increasing. Your comments on the same.
No, I couldn't follow, sir. Please, sir. Sorry.
He's asking about the fake brands in rural market.
Which brands?
Fake brands.
Fake brands, yeah. So that is why we have to educate the rural consumers also. See, educated consumers are also not educated, but rural consumers, they are very much prone to these fake products, adulterated products. So we have to be college students, the NSS, and all those shepherd program like that. Now we have a lot of village programs. So we have to educate the farmers, consumers in the rural areas also, and may advertise it. You can display how to identify fake products like that. You can conduct an exhibition in a village, and the NSS, you can go and make some play, and the Consumer Affairs Ministry is also very much interested if you do like that, because consumer clubs are created for this purpose, not only educating students, but also educating the general public. So it is the responsibility of the educated people to educate the rural illiterate consumers about fake products.
There is a question by K. Palanichami.
Yes.
As we all know that many products harm to us, then why the government is not banning it? Why?
No, government has already banned. Government will never allow by any law to sell products that are banned. The government prohibits, but they sell it. And the enforcement agency, they take action against them whenever it comes to their knowledge. But self-medication, unethical marketing practices are there. So there are laws and enforcement machineries. In spite of that, it's going on. But we cannot simply ban all products. No government will encourage selling of bad products. Any other question? So thank you very